Hello everyone, Sean here, and I hope everyone's been doing well despite the pandemic situation still. That's been continuing to pretty much escalate, unfortunately, as of August 2020. Today on the Hawk Talks, I specifically wanted to talk about movies as of right now, like the current climate of things, how it's been sort of doing in terms of 2020, and just, I don't know, movie talk for this episode. Not relating to just directly on movies themselves, but the things around the movies. So, first thing I wanted to tackle is the whole thing about, AMC opening back up again, right? Ever since around, I believe, March 2020, things were turning for the worse, pretty much, for everyone, everything, and that was pretty much when the situation, was taken to the next level, and I believe that was pretty much when the lockdown kind of officially began, right? And ever since then, AMC and all the other theaters have been closed down or just closed for the time being. All the times between March and I guess now, right? And it's just it was absolutely silence in terms of the cinematic world of things. For those people who love to go out to theaters to continuously experience the feel of being in the theater, in the seats, with the sounds and everything rumbling as that AAA movie is being, shown on the silver screen. And I've, myself have always loved the experience of theaters. When kids are around, or just noisy people in general are around, right? Things always like that are, probable to happen, right? But despite all that, I still love the experience just because of, I don't know, it's just that feeling I get from sitting down in the theater and just, being part of the premiere of a movie, kind of being on the same sort of wagon and being in the know about what this movie is like. I'm just an enthusiast in cinema in general, as much as I am with video games and anime and all that stuff in between. And of course, so naturally, this whole situation kind of has left me a little saddened to only seeing like barely 2 movies this year. The biggest one of them all really was Sonic the Hedgehog, of all things, right? And that was, a great movie for what it was, a great kids movie, a great movie for the fans of Sonic the Hedgehog in general, I think. And the other movie that I watched was pretty much something I didn't really need to watch in theaters, but I just kind of did it anyway because, I watched the My Hero Academia movie. I think it was like called Two Heroes or something like that, which was the English dub version of it, which was the Japanese side of things. So, that was kind of nice. It wasn't the Funimation, sort of private screening sort of scenario. It was just me and the movie, pretty much, like, and a couple other people in the theater. That was the only 2 movies, or those were the only 2 movies I saw of this entire year, pretty much. And so here we are, talking about AMC opening back up again. As of now, they're still planning to reopen the theaters, despite the pandemic situation, COVID-19, all that stuff. And I think overall it seems pretty mixed for the majority of people. There are some people, I say mixed, but it seems like it's more on the negative side of things. People don't want to kind of just risk it, you know what I mean? And there are people who are just very cautious about it, you know what I mean? Like, what if people aren't willing to wear masks and people can just use the excuse of, oh, I want to eat my popcorn or my drink or whatever, right? So they're gonna pull that card, and so that's gonna be the excuse for them to for not wearing masks and such. So yeah, those things, and just overall the risk factor of getting infected by the virus, it's still pretty high up there in my opinion. I mean, it's like the worst case scenario. It's one of the worst ways to get it, because you're in a room, air conditioned. It's like the ideal condition for the virus, right? And you're in a room full of people. Now, yes, granted, social distancing, so it's reduced numbers, but still, you're in a room with people, air conditioned. It's pretty, like, you know what I mean? Like, closed in and all that stuff, and you know what I mean? It's all in the right conditions for the virus. You have people in there, and probably there are going to be a number of people who aren't going to be wearing masks because they want to eat their popcorn or their drink, whatever, have their drink on them, and so that's going to, raise the potential risk of spreading the virus and such. And with all that factoring in and more things that I haven't mentioned, just overall, just the worth of risking your well-being and your health for the sake of watching this movie, you know what I mean? I think overall, as much I would like and such, and catch all the movies early in the year, like Wonder Woman, Tenet, Black Widow, and all that such, it's absolutely not worth it. And with that said, I am absolutely not going to use my A-list and all that stuff, and just attend to or return to the cinematic experience overall. I think it's still not worth it. It's still dangerous to out there in that sort of setting. It's dangerous. And people have made the comparison of exposing yourself to the virus when you're in like a Walmart or something like that. See, that's where it's like a really bad comparison might take, or in my opinion, and it's a bad take. So like, obviously, because at least in Walmart, you're doing something essential, which is like picking up groceries or trying to get clothes or something, or like, you know what I mean? Like, they have essentials there. But AMC and other theaters, you're just watching a movie. That's absolutely a luxury thing. It's not essential in your life. You can watch movies on Netflix. There are plenty of them right now for you to choose from. There's all the anime, there's all the cartoons, there's all these shows that are on Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, which I'll get to later on in this video. But it's just something you don't really need to do. As much as, yes, I love the hobby of catching the movies in theaters. It's an experience. Your health, potentially your life, because we don't know how this virus would react to each individual. Even even though it is said that the younger people are pretty safe for the most part, they're still losing your life to the virus, no matter what age. You know what I mean? It's absolutely not worth the risk. And not to mention, even if you are absolutely healthy, and pretty much the virus will be just kind of like being a flu to you. What about the other people within your household, or your family, your folks, especially your parents, your grandparents? That's absolutely not worth that risk. You are not only risking yourself, but pretty much everyone in your household. If you live on your own, then that's out of the window, sure. But you're likely going to want to visit your family, and you don't even test yourself or whatever, or you just don't take the precautions to visit your family and such. You're just gonna just let it be and go on about that. and that's putting them at risk as well. So overall, what I'm trying to say here is that going to the theaters is absolutely not worth it, in my opinion. I'm not going to go to the theaters as much as I love to, watch movies again in the theater. It's still not the time. It's still absolutely not the worth the risk, and I just absolutely can do anything else besides going to the theater, right? And I'm just gonna catch the movies here in the comfort of my home. Still, I think that's like the most ideal way for right now. Definitely for me, but I think that's pretty ideal for anyway. And now, not to mention, what about the workers? You know what I mean? Like, you're putting them at risk for what? Yeah, it sucks, this whole situation is going to change the whole sort of worth of movie theaters for the future. There was a movie called Onward. That was the movie that not only was in theaters, but I think a month later, or not too long after, Disney Plus, which that was a way for me to catch Onward. I didn't catch Onward in theaters because of the pandemic and the whole rise, and I did not want to risk myself getting infected and such with the virus. And so a major movie that was in theaters, right? But I caught that one on Disney Plus, and what do you know? I mean, it was still a good movie and such. And I just absolutely didn't think about the movie experience, Soul's World Tour or something like that. I believe that was what it's called, but the other movie that was streamed, and this was streamed entirely, was Trolls World Tour. That was streamed, I believe, or at least it was on demand or whatever. You could just buy it for a day or rent it for a day digitally, and that movie made a lot of money. What do you know? It made a lot of money because people just want to watch it at the comfort of their home. So that really goes to show of how theaters are going to be looked at in the future. Are they going to be irrelevant eventually? I think they will, sadly. But I think, theaters can do things a little differently from here on out. I think they should have options. There should be like a drive-in thing. I think it really needs to bring back drive-in theaters for the future, for just options. You know what I mean? We can have people who want to, be in a theater, and there are people who just want to, be outside and kind of experience the classic, drive-in theater sort of experience. And not only that, it's a lot safer because it's outdoors. The draft or breeze will, further prevent any infection and such, and you can also have better social distancing for sure. It's out in the open, so the virus is just gonna or the particles, I should say, the from people will just fly in the wind, and that will prevent any or further prevent any infections for sure. Absolutely. Is it going to be, absolutely 0%? No, but it's a lot better than being contained in the box, air conditioned, full of people, or at least full of a number of people with you. You know what I mean? So, and not to mention, they're likely not. Oh, I'm eating my popcorn. All the masks are gonna. You know what I mean? Like, they're just gonna pull the whole rights card sort of nonsense. There's the other movie that's going to be streamed, right? That was, I guess, long awaited, right? Which is the live-action Mulan movie, and unfortunately, that's been met with universal pans, not because of the movie itself, but because of how it's being distributed. So what Disney's doing with this movie is essentially they're charging you $30 just to see this movie, on top of you having to, pay the subscription fee that's already there for Disney Plus. So it's like, what the hell? So you're telling me I have to pay $38 overall just to go see Mulan in general at home? It's like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Why is this being done in this way? Why can't, be an option for people who just rent the damn thing in general, and then, for like a day or whatever, however long, usually 24 hours, right? And then for the people who already have Disney Plus, why not get a discount on it? That would have been a nice incentive or whatever, little reward, I guess, for having Disney Plus, like myself. So that could have been nice. Pay $30 on top of the subscription fee. I hope that changes, but it's like, okay, not as of now, not really. Now, yes, they said that you can have Mulan forever in your library, the live action, of course, forever in your library until you deactivate your subscription to Disney Plus. That's not gonna cut it. It's like that's not what we're worried about. It's like what we're concerned about is the cost, not having it in our hands or whatever in our library. It's just the fact that we have to pay that much just to see this movie. You know what I mean? There are people who just want to see Mulan live action right then and there from the get-go, and then that's it. What about those people? But no, you gotta have Disney Plus and pay up $30 just to see this movie. Okay, so, or give up their free trial just to see this movie. That's what, $8 Great. Now you still have to pay $30 for it, but you have to sacrifice your free trial just to see this movie. And not to mention, if they're gonna continue this whole trend, there's gonna be more movies that people are gonna feel tempted to. You know what I mean? And now that, I wasted my free trial, well shit, if this continues. So there's got to be a middle ground here. Obviously they need to make money from make money from, for the sake of the budget and stuff like that, but they gotta make a return. I understand that, but this is a bit much. This is absolutely a bit much, or if not a lot. It is asking a lot from us. You know what I mean? And this is not the way to go. Like I said, for those who have Disney Plus, there should be a discount, and for those who just want to buy straight up, rent the movie on demand or whatever, that should be whatever, $30, $20, I don't know. And then whatever how much it is, we should get a discount for it. It's for the people who have Disney Plus, that's the way it should have been done. But Disney wants to kind of continue to be greedy about it and try to see if they are willing to go out and see or get Mulan. So with that, I'm definitely not gonna go watch Mulan on my on my own time until something gets resolved or whatever. It's just ridiculous. So that's just my 2 cents on things for right now, I guess. When it comes to movies, I would like to go back, but that's only when things are safe again, and people have the vaccine. I have the vaccine, and pretty much it's been declared, that people have herd immunity or something like that, or just declared absolutely safe or whatever. But I think even then, though, this is the beginning of something different. You know what I mean? It could be, something related to the theater experience. More people wearing masks in general, despite, no virus outbreak. I think it's a wake-up call that people are gonna wear masks for a long while, even after the whole quarantine thing. I think the whole scare is gonna have them having people wearing masks for a while. I mean, You know, if in other countries, especially with Japan, you know, and I think eventually wearing a mask is just going to be the norm here in America. But that's probably for another video. Wanted to kind of, you know, talk about movies in general for 2020 as of right now. So again, the theaters reopening. I'm not gonna go back. Choose to go back to the theaters, or you know, December of 2020 hits, I guess, or by 2020 or whenever December of 2020 passes by. So either of those two options are there, and that's pretty nice because I can keep my account still frozen. I'm not gonna pay the subscription fee for that one, which is like what, $23 a month or something like that. So that, you know, that means I don't have to pay for not going to the theater. You know what I mean? So that's pretty nice on them. At least they took those sort of measures and took those considerations into heart, and that's pretty nice on them. So. But yeah, anyways, I'm not gonna go back until everything is safe, which is gonna be a long while, but I can wait. And also, streaming movies right off the bat, you know, is gonna be more of a thing, you know, because it's already been happening. It's already been making money. I think Scooby-Doo did the same thing too. That one Scooby-Doo movie did the same thing, and what do you know? It made money, right? I can imagine it did, if that was the case. But anyways, I know Trolls did, so. But you know, we gotta do our part to bring down the cases and all that stuff, the curve again, and hopefully we can get through this whole pandemic situation soon enough. But even with that, though, I think it's still gonna be a long while until things are gonna be absolutely safe again for us to socialize and go back to our activities that we wanted to do, like we did in the past, and all that. So, what do you guys think about all this movie-related stuff that I talked about? Are you guys wanting to go back to theaters? You know, how do you feel about theaters reopening again? How do you guys feel about, you know, movies being streamed and all that stuff? And what do you guys think about movies in general, like for the future? You know, all those comments, anything related to that, you know, love to read them down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell to notify all. Really appreciate it, guys. That's really helpful for the channel. And follow me on Twitter, and also I stream too. So all that is in the description below. On Twitter, that's where I kind of like do a lot of updates and stuff like that. And you know, that's like a really good way to get yourself updated on the channel, and just anything related to me, that's in the description. So this has been the Hawke Talk, just movies in general, theaters reopening, movies being streamed, and I guess some future for movie theaters and just movies in general, I guess, in a way. But anyways, maybe I'll talk more about